Hello, this is Richard Easterling from Berkeley, California with my better late than never Fun 5 update for the Cardano Wallet SDK. I couldn't get my online Tuesday, so I thought I'd do a video, and I also get to show off my new demo app. So briefly, I'm going to cover the status of the project. Number two, I'll cover funding. I'll do a quick demo, and then I'm going to do a quick 5-minute overview of what the anatomy of a Flutter project is and how it's able to target multiple platforms. I think that'd be pretty interesting to you developers out there. So here we go. Status of the project is it's almost done, just pending a transaction bug. Transactions proved to be more challenging than I thought, but the infrastructure is very professional. I've added unit testing, code coverage, good documentation, and a killer demo app, which I'm going to show you shortly. The purpose of the Fun 5 projects was to write a prototype to see if Flutter was a good candidate for writing off-chain Cardano clients. And much to my surprise, it turned out to be a first-class platform because I was able to do everything in Dart, including all the cryptography and coding, which means it will deploy to all of Flutter's supported platforms. However, I'd only asked for 100 hours, and I've probably got over 700 hours in now. And unfortunately, I missed Fund 6 by a few slots. So I'm trying again in Fund 7. So nobody's going to write a prize application on a prototype. So I'm proposing 400 hours to push this project over the finish line to production quality. I feel strongly that Flutter is a tremendous asset to the Cardano community, and felt writing a demo app would help people get more of a sense of the project and thus be more informed when it comes time to vote on Fund 7. Okay, now for the fun part. It's demo time. So Flutter is an amazing platform. With one code base, you can target just about every important platform on the planet at this point. And it follows the idioms of that particular OS, and just get it out of the box. Here we're creating new wallets and restoring existing wallets using mnemonics. You can also see the transactions for each wallet, and it supports great 2D graphics. You can get these hero animations with a few lines of code. You get the blurred Flutter logo in the back with a few more lines of code. And here we're showing how to send Cardano using the framework. Flutter traditionally supported Android and iOS. Then they added web support, and just recently they're adding a desktop. I just tried it Monday. Mac OS is the app in the middle, and it worked flawlessly. Without a lot of work on your part, you can make it look pretty nice on different form factors. Here I'm demonstrating linking to a blockchain browser. In the case of iPad Touch, it'll embed the browser. In the case of Mac OS, it'll link to an external one. Also demonstrating how you can delete a wallet using the slider here too. Let's take Mac OS for a test drive. Here I'll demonstrate creating a read-only wallet using a staking address. As you'd expect on a desktop, you use Command V for pasting your staking address into the dialog box. The SDK includes validators for all Cardano's important data types. Here you see the BEC32 validator, making it impossible for the user to enter an invalid staking address. Also, when Elmer finishes entering his name, you'll see a toast message pop up from the bottom. By resizing the screen, we can demonstrate adaptive programming where we rearrange elements on the screen to fit the width. Notice how the date disappears and the transactions is abbreviated on the wallet screen. Somewhat of a unique problem to Flutter because it supports so many platforms, but frameworks and best practices are emerging to make handling these form factors easier. Finally, Flutter supports dark and light themes out of the box. Finally, what makes Flutter so productive is its support for hot reload. Interesting enough, it started out as a hot reload tool for Android before it became a framework. Here we're changing the background from a logo to a gradient. You just hit save and it reloads. Also notice how the state is preserved. The wallets are still there. Okay, I'll wrap it up there. Hopefully you have a good sense of the SDK and why I think Flutter is such a powerful platform. The next part of the talk is for people who like to look under the hood. starting from the very beginning, if you search on Flutter packages, you'll find pub.dev, and if you search on Cardano, you'll see all the important packages in the Cardano ecosystem. The first thing I'll point out is the CBOR and BIP32 packages, both of which I built on top of, and also the BlockFrost one, early project I pushed out to access the blockchain. If you click on the Cardano Wallet SDK, the first thing you'll notice is the number of platforms supported. And basically for this framework, all are supported because this is a pure Dart library, no Rust. Then if you scroll down, you'll see some code examples. And these are just little recipes to allow you to quickly get up to speed with whatever task you're trying to do. Now let's go over to GitHub and get a sense of the layout of the project. First thing you'll notice is this is a pure Dart library. There's no UI code. It's very simple, just a lib with the main source in it and test and examples folders. The pub spec YAML file is an important project file. Holds all the metadata for the project, the name, the version, all its dependencies, and all its development dependencies like code generators and whatnot. The lib folder is where all the source lives for the project. And within it, you'll find the library definition file. It simply exports all the source included in the library. There's two examples currently included with the framework. One's a pure Dart example. The other's a full-blown Flutter app. The quickest way to understand the framework is to look at the pure Dart one. It's all Cardano code and pretty straightforward. You can scroll through and see how to create wallets, how to send transactions, and so on. Quickest way to understanding the framework. If you look at the Flutter example, you'll see there's more folders, basically one for each platform supported. And in there will be startup stubs and ways to customize the code for each specific platform. Switching to VS Code, we see in the Flutter example that Flutter is imported like any other Dart dependency along with the SDK. The main entry point sets up non-UI services before instantiating the first UI widget. One of the great things about Flutter is they greatly simplified UI development by making everything a widget. To design your UI, you simply use composition with simple widgets and simply build up what you need. It's very flexible, very effective architecture. Lastly, running your code in an IDE, in this case VS Code, is what you'd expect. You select your emulator or your device, hit go, set breakpoints, get your job done. Under the hood, it's using Xcode or Android Studio or cross-compiling the JavaScript. All that detail is hidden from you. It's generally a pretty high-level, seamless experience. That's a wrap for me. Hopefully you have a better understanding of what Flutter is and how it might fit into the Cardano ecosystem and potentially into one of your future projects. If you have any questions for me, I can be reached at Hot Springs Finder, either at Discord or Telegram, and you can email me at richard@hotspringsfinder.com as well. Thanks for listening.